So I read this article a while back. It was in the Atlantic, and it was talking about how we are already living in the metaverse. And an example that she gave was there was some viral trend where people would have basically a delivery guy that comes to their door just doing his job, and on the doorway it would say dance. And the delivery people, at least some of them, would oblige and dance. And then these videos were put on, uploaded onto, because these people had the video cameras in front of their house. So then these videos were uploaded onto TikTok. And she used this example to say, in the course of someone just doing their job, they are suddenly sucked into the quote unquote metaverse. And, I thought that was okay, a bit of a stretch. But I was standing online at boarding the airplane. And it was funny because this guy was behind me and then a group was in front of me. And the group called out to the guy. So clearly they were together. And I just said to him, oh, you can go in front of me and be with your group. It's fine. But he's like, no, it's okay. It's cool. But as we were getting closer to the plane, then the group that he was with, they reached, with the cell phone and reached up above their heads to take a picture. And I'm sort of between the group and the guy who's with the group, but didn't want to be with them, so didn't want to stand with them for whatever reason. And so I turned away so I wouldn't be a part of this picture that they are taking. And it just reminded me of this article and something that my sister had mentioned to me, which I can't mention in detail at all. It just, it was very valuable, but I can't remember it on the fly in total. But one part of it that I recall is her saying how rare it's becoming to have privacy, right? To be unknown in this world. It doesn't take much for you to suddenly be blasted all over the internet, or not even, forget about even viral moments, because yes, that's one thing. You could randomly, someone take a video of you on the train or on a bus or in a restaurant, and that randomly becomes a viral video, and now you're a meme or something. It's worst case scenario. But then there's also just that sort of casual stuff where you're just standing up somewhere, and because someone feels the need to take a picture, and they don't care to say, hey, would you mind moving over? Or, hey, do you mind? I just want to take a picture of myself or something. Nobody says that anymore. All of a sudden you're in someone's picture, or you have to be the one to make an effort to have some privacy. And I think this is a problem, obviously, but it is so interesting how quickly we've sort of forgotten our, I don't want to say I want to say manners around technology, but that's not really it, because technology is so new. We haven't, the sort of technology that we have now, we haven't really gotten an opportunity to develop manners, to develop adab with our technology. And so even though in the beginning, there was discussion about, is it rude to have your phone out during dinner? There was discussion about, don't take pictures of strangers. There was discussion about don't put pictures and videos of strangers online. That was at least a discussion. Now I think people don't even think about it. And I think it's worth being hyper vigilant and careful and reminding ourselves, right? Because increasingly the cell phone just feels like an extension of us. And subhanAllah, that is, and I guess that's what this writer was getting at with the idea that we're already in the metaverse. And that is the dream of some technologists, this idea of the singularity, this idea of being hyper connected to our technology. We're already there, but there are some of us who want us to be in the technology, quote unquote, who want us for there to be no distance. I wrote an article, a blog post a while back called Space and Technology, if you're interested, on my blog by thefigandtheolive.com. And increasingly, every technology wants to decrease the space between us and it, right? And almost become invisible. And that's, I'm not saying this was never an issue earlier on, right? Because even obviously we see older pictures where they're just passerbys, right? So that's not completely new, but that doesn't make it any better, right? And the technology sort of began there, the ability to, I'm sorry, did I say I think the name of the article is Space and Time, something like that. But this idea of being able to cut through space and time, and also to interrupt people's privacy, to interrupt our own privacy, right? There are innumerous examples, because when you can get out your cell phone and you can be basically anywhere. So then the idea of a separation between what is private and what is public becomes very confusing, right? If you're at home with your family, but you are on your cell phone and doing a live on the internet, is that private or is that public? And alhamdulillah, I think Islam gives us a lot of guidance on a lot of this stuff. For instance, and I have a longer audio on this in my Telegram if you're interested in joining. But there is, we'll sort of casually say, for example, with hijab, that, we wear our hijab in public and we don't wear it in private. But that's not exactly true, right? We wear our hijab in front of mahram men, as well as our husband, and in front of other women. We do not wear our hijab in front of mahram men, husband, and other women. We don't have to wear it in front of those people. And we do wear our hijab in front of non-mahram men. So there's a strange man that comes into your house. The requirement for how you dress, for how you are allowed to present yourself in front of that man, it doesn't change because you're in your home, right? Perhaps stylistically you won't wear something as whatever, you may wear something more comfortable or more whatever is more your style at home, but you have to be covered in the same way. The same as if you went out in public, right? When I was living in Morocco, when I went out to, there was a gym near me where it was an all women's gym. So I'm outside of my home, but when I go to the gym, then I have the requirements for dressing the way we can dress in front of other women, right? So it's not just private versus public, it's about who's around. And I think that is the sort of awareness that we're losing with technology, is really, well, that is what we're losing. We're losing awareness, right? What is appropriate? Who is around? Where is the adab? And I know this can almost sound like a rant about, and maybe it is a rant about, why didn't these people say something? But I think that's all of us, right? That we are just becoming incredibly unaware of appropriateness when it comes to the utilization of technology. And I don't even want to say it that way, because like I said, technology hasn't even been long enough for us to set up those rules. So we still have to use older rules to dictate the way we use technology. And so privacy is it's becoming more and more of a rarity. It's becoming more and more of a gem. It's becoming something that we really have to hold on to very tightly, because you can be walking anywhere. And so even I was in a mall area a few weeks ago, going up the stairs, and it's these young people about to shoot some kind of video. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just going up the stairs, right? But they have a whole photo shoot, video shoot planned out. I think we have to be more considerate, and I'm saying this for myself and for whoever cares about this. None of us can control what strangers are doing, right? But for our own selves, being a little bit more careful about, in this very specific example, okay, who wants to be on camera? Who wants to be in this video? Who wants to be in this photo? And just being more considerate about who's around, first and foremost to ourselves. The same is true when someone's playing a loud audio and other people are around. You know, it's true in so many ways that we have to, it's so easy to lose awareness with technology, essentially, is what I'll end with. It's easy to lose awareness. And so we have to make more of an effort to be aware, inshallah ta'ala, to be aware of ourselves, of our surroundings, of other people, so that we don't lose that general adab, so that we don't disrespect other people's privacy, and other people's right to privacy. So I just wanted to mention that reminder to myself first and foremost, reminder to all of us to just be aware of our surroundings and be considerate of those around us. Inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.